Hey everyone, welcome to this video. This is the second part of my Python SDK tutorial with Azure, and we're really not going to do too much from what we have done in the previous one. So we're going to start and do a little bit of CRUD in this video. Okay, in the first one we did some stuff, so let's review what we have already done. So first of all, what we got some stuff where we imported the libraries that are needed. So the code that we have already written is Azure Resource Group Manager. So here what we have used the Azure Management Resource, this package, and Azure Identity, those two. And let's just copy this code and come to our CRUD with Python SDK. And we're gonna do the CRUD with the Azure Resource Group here. So what we have really done here, I just did. So these two I have already ran these commands, and I have both of those packages available to me. So I'm importing the libraries or packages that I need uh, to do my program. So once we have that, so that is really the Python import libraries. That's what I have done. Okay, that's the thing that I have done. Now, get credentials. So for now, to keep things simple, we're gonna create a variable credential, and we're gonna get the Azure CLI credential. So on this CLI, I'm already logged in. Okay, it's just by doing AZ CLI. Okay, AZ login. That's command I ran, and I'm logged into the CLI. So this program is gonna get the CLI, my authentication information from the CLI itself. Use it in a development environment, but do not do this for production. Okay, so once we get our authentication, the next thing that I want to do, I want to make sure that I'm only working with one subscription. So let's create another variable, subscription ID, and let's get the subscription ID from here. That's my subscription. I'm going to actually copy all of it and put it right there. And let's put a space in here. So now I got the subscription ID. So now I can create my resource manager client. Okay, so that would, I'm just gonna resource management client, and I'm gonna make an instance of the resource management client class, and I'm gonna pass my credentials here. Okay, and I'm also gonna provide the subscription ID where I want this guy to access my the resources using this credential. Once I have this client, this object has lots of methods associated with it, and we're really going to do the CRUD, so create, read, update, and delete operations using a resource group. So let's start using our management client, and if you just put a dot, you see there's a whole bunch of things you can do. Let's create a resource group. So I'm going to click on the resource group, put another dot, and here is my first thing, create or update. So let's just put it there. And what am I gonna do? So let's create a resource group. Okay, and one thing that is important with the resource group is the location. Okay, so what we would do is, let's first create something called resource group parameters. Okay, resource excuse me, group params. Now in the params you can have lots of different kind of params. So the thing that I want to provide to my resource group is the location, which is a required parameter. So let's create a key value pair for location. Okay, and say I want this in um, sorry, in east US. Okay, east US location. So what we'll do inside here, in a CRUD operation, I can pass say resource group name rg east US. Okay, and with that I'm going to pass that resource group parameters as a parameter to this particular method. Okay, so now at this point I should have a program that is already working. So let's try this one out. So I'm going to take this one over here so you can see the code. And let's also, just for a, for sanity check, I'm just going to print. Okay, and just going to call resource group is created. Okay, something like that. So now let's run the program in, just 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 do run CRUD resource group. That is the file name that I have. So if I do that, so you see the rate, that means it actually went there and I don't see any error, and it says resource group is created. So this line got executed just fine. So what you can do at this time, actually I might even be able to bring up, let's see if I have access to portal. portal.azure.com, and let's see what if we go. Yeah, I'm logging in. So if I go to my resource groups, let's see if I have the resource group. Was it RG Python? What do we create? Okay, let's see, make sure RG East US. So let's see, RG East US. So that's the one that's got created. Okay, and if you see, the location is East US. Okay, and that's about it. So that's the first thing. Now, say you want, there's no tag right now, right? There's no tag in here, and you want to do some tags. Well, before we do that, let's do the read operation in the CRUD. So let's do that in, like, in order. So what I can do at this time, okay, at this time, I can get another list, say list of resource groups. Okay, I'm going to use the resource group client, that object, and this time I'm also going to go to resource group, and then I'm just going to do a list. Okay, so this one hopefully is going to go to the subscription, look at all the resource group and return me a list of it. Okay, so what I want to do in this one, I want to see if this resource group is available in this list. Okay, so I can do something like, I can write a for loop for RG, which is resource group, in what, in list of resource groups dot list. Okay, let's see if that's something. So in this list, hold on, I don't need the list in here because the list is stored here in list. If RG, for if, okay, if RG dot let's see, is there a name for RG? I'm just gonna keep it as RG for now, or well, let's do this first. Print RG. Okay, let's see what does this do for us. So let's just run this code and let's see what happens. Okay, so what you see here, the RG, the object that I'm getting back, it's actually another object with a kind of key value mapping of a lot of different things using the ID, and over here I have the name. So if I want to create a validation, I can say, okay, if RG dot name equals to, and now let's put that as a variable here. So let's call it RG name is this, and I'm gonna move this one and move that variable down here. Okay, so now it's reusable. So here RG name is RG underscore name. So if the name of this RG object matches with the variable that we have created here, then I can print, okay, resource group found, right? So that would be a read operation. So we have created, and here we are doing a read operation. So let's run the program again. So if I do this and look at that now, in this rg.name has this resource group available, so I'm getting that response back. So this line is getting executed. So you can also put else block if you want here and print, okay, rg not found. Now in this case, this block will not be executed because your rg is available there, right? So we have done your create and read operation. So let's see how you do say update. Okay, so for update, let's try something over here. Okay, where's my update? Update is right here. Okay, so in here what I'll do, I'm going to say, okay, your resource group params, okay, dot, let's see if I can run an update here. Okay, update. So the resource group parameter, I want to update that with, say, our tags. Okay, and tags are usually a key value pair. So I'm gonna say cloud security as key value is training. Okay, and if I have that in here, okay, what I can do next, I can call my uh, resource group, the resource management client that I have. Again, I want to call the, let me think, what should we do? Uh, Client, and then resource groups, and then if I only want to update that resource group, I can run a update here. Okay, and update what? So we can say we want to update the resource group, which now we have a variable where we're storing, so rg test name, rg name. So I'm going to pass rg name. So that is a resource we want to update. Update with what? Update with this particular uh, tag values, right? So I'm going to pass resource group params. Okay, so let's see what this does, okay, before we do too much. So again, I'm gonna put some comment, print. I'm gonna say update is successful. So let's see if that works. So run this command. It's running. Uh-oh, is this time it says, hey, rg not found. Okay, so we got some uh something that went wrong. So let's see, it says resource group created. So up to this point, it did well, and then it says, okay, so it, what it did, it went through, okay, the whole block this time. If for each block, if it's found, it printed that this group is found. For the other thing, it says it's not found. You actually don't need all of that stuff, so I'm gonna get rid of for now. And run this one more time. Okay, so now your resource group is also found, and then it thinks that the update is also successful. So if the update is successful, if I go back in here and refresh, I should be seeing some tags. So refresh, and let's see what happens. And I do not see any tags in there. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So just to give it benefit of doubt, yeah, there we go. Cloud security training. So now I see the new tag is now added to my resource group. Now, you can do things like, if you want to list items, like over here, if you create something, okay, say in here you want to create something manually, maybe create say an IP address. Okay, that's something very easy. Per se public IP address. You want to create the public IP address within the resource group that we have created. So let's just do that by hand. Excuse me. And let's see, name PIP and should be good. Should be good. Should be good. RGSTUS. Yeah, I'm fine with all of that. And there we go. So it's initializing, submitting deployment, and I should have at least one IP resource within that resource group. So so if I go in here now, okay, it will show up in a minute because we have started creating that resource. So let's see if it's deployment in progress. So while this is going on, let's come back and do a little bit of more coding and show you how to do that. Now it says deployment is successful. So if I refresh this one now, sorry, not delayed, I should be able to see, yeah, the PAP resources showed up. So let's go back in here. Okay. So let's do a little bit more of read. So now what we want to do, we want to list all the items within a resource group. Okay, something we have already done in the last video. I'm just going to show you another way of doing it. Okay, I'm still going to use this resource management client. Okay, so resource management client, and then I put the dot. Let's see what we have access to. Let's see if I can go to resources this time instead of resource group. Let's go to resources, and let's just see what we have. List by resource groups. Okay, so this one is going to give you the resources by resource groups, and let's just give it the resource group name. So rg dash underscore name is what we want. So this one is gonna get everything, but I need so it's again, so let's do store this resource list. So typically we have only one, but typically we would have multiple ones, and this method it really returns a list. Okay, so now once you have this, you can write another loop for resource in resource list. What you want to do, you want to print this resource, right? So usually you have multiple ones and you will see multiple resource that will get printed. So let's run this code, and hopefully your PIP is going to show up and it's now printing everything. Again, if you want to only interested in say name and maybe the location, okay, and where is the location? Location is always there. It should be somewhere. Okay, kind plan none here location. So you can do like resources dot resource dot name, then plus let's separate out with a space and a comma, and let's do resource dot location. So those are the two things that we are interested in right now. And if I run this code this time, what I'm expecting, that I'm going to have a very nice output, and I'll have the resource group name and the location listed over here. Now, when sometimes the program is running, you see this red square, that means the program is actually running and executing. And look at that over here, it listed the resource. Okay, now notice that it's a loop. If you had multiple one, the program would still work and give you the list of all resources in a resource group. As a matter of fact, let's go to Azure, and let's pick up another resource group where I do have some stuff maybe. So this one, I have a little bit more. So let's maybe pick up this resource group. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll come back, we'll copy this code, okay, and put it in here. And this time, instead of the RG, we're gonna pass this name. Okay, so let's pass another resource group name. We are hard coding, and this is another one. I'm gonna just do another print list of resources from another resource group. That's what I'm doing and trying and proving that this little 2 lines or 3 lines of code can actually look at and print everything else. Okay, so here print list of resource from another resource group. So all the resources that you see in here, they are actually part of the other resource group that we just saw, like this resource group. All the resources that you see in here, they are there. Okay. So the last thing that we want to do in a CRUD is the delete operation, right? Now again, what we're gonna do, we are gonna use our the resource management client. So that one is the object, and we wanna say delete our resource groups, and let's say we wanna do uh, dot and see what are the method we have. I see one begin delete. Is there anything else? No. So begin delete is good. So let's just do begin delete, and then you're gonna provide the name of the resource group. So let's just delete the one that we have created. So this is the one we created, and what you want. Okay. So here, a lot of times what you can do, you can make like store the whole process in a variable, and let's call it delete async op. Okay, and what you will do, you can wait for the operation to be completely done. So you get and then say wait, and with that you can run the program, and the program will wait for the deletion to be done. And over here we're going to print at the end uh, resource group is now deleted. Okay, so with a little bit of code, now let's try this out again. And again, program is running. It printed the first resource that we created, then it printed everything in this other resource group that we already had, and now it's going through. The program is still running. That red square, if you click on it, it will stop the program actually. So program is now running, and because you have this wait status in here, it is actually waiting and running the code. Okay, and now once the program is done, you will see that everything is deleted. Okay, now what I'll do while this is running, I'm just gonna go back over here real quick and refresh, and I'm gonna go in here and just look at the deployment. So this is one succeeded. Okay, and over here I'm gonna go back to the terminal and make sure it's not requesting for like yes or anything. Okay, all right, I'm gonna pause the video for a second, let it finish the deletion, and we'll come back. All right, it took probably a couple minutes, but then it said the resource group is now deleted. You probably don't need to put the yes in here. Just wait, give it a little bit of time, and when you see this RG is created and that red bar is gone, that means this process is done. And if you go back to your portal, you should not see this resource group or any of the resources. So if I try to refresh this, I'm expecting to get an error. At least it's got rid of the resource, but looks like the resource group for whatever reason is still there. Actually what it did, it actually did not create the resource group. It it deleted the resources within the resource group. Okay, so that is okay. So let's fix the thing, so and update our header. Delete the resources within resource group. Okay, so that is what we have done. And is it, let me make sure that that's what it did. We're actually going after the resource group and we deleted, so it should be deleting the resources plus resource group. Okay, let's double verify. So let's come back over here and refresh. Actually it did both. Okay, so now, so we were good. So it delete the resources and the resource group. Okay, now if you really wanted only delete the resources and not the delete or not the resource group, you can also do that. You just have to go back to the previous code, look at it, think about it a little bit more and fix it. And for whatever reason, I always took the resource group, mistype it. So let's fix all of that. Let's fix the resource. Anywhere else have the resource group problem? No, I think all good. So that kind of ends this video where we have shown you how to do the CRUD operation with the Azure resource group with the Python SDK. Now, before I finish the video, let's just commit and push. Let's just first commit. Okay, for here we're gonna do the CRUD and resource group, create resource group. Okay, so here we are adding CRUD with Python SDK Azure. Let's do commit and push. It should bring it to my Git repo, and if you want, I'll put the link in the video. You'll have the code. All right, with that, good luck. We'll see the next video. We'll continue working with the Python SDK for Azure for doing many different things and improving our code, making it more complex. So stay tuned. Thank you. Thank you for watching.